Hello, friends, and welcome to your weekly pick a card reading with me, Intuitive Rene. So we have a long weekend coming up. At the time of recording this video and when this video will be released, we have the long weekend of the Easter celebrations coming up. And as much as I don't consider myself to be somebody who celebrates Easter, I do like what it represents and I do like what it stands for. And I've actually been looking for a couple of days now for something that we could do in line with that without being too Easter-ish. So what I have done, these are the decks that I'm going to be working with, and I have found a tarot spread. It's not my own. It's one that I have found online, and it is, I have to look at my notes, by New Age Hipster. New Age Hipster created this tarot spread, and I just thought it was amazing. I loved what it stood for. I loved what it represented, and I thought, you know what, it's one that I have used for myself in the past, and I thought it would be so good to share with you. And these are the decks that I'm going to work with today. So I've chosen decks that are light, that are kind, that are gentle, that are nurturing, that are, you know, all sympathetic even, if I can say. I've chosen decks that I think are just going to give us the support, the guidance, and the upliftment that we need, because, you know, that's what I'm all about. That's what my channel is about. That's what my video is about. And most especially, that's what my pick of cards are about. You know, it's all about just helping you be a better version of yourself, because that's why I do what I do. So let's have a look at the decks that we're going to be working with. So I'm going to use the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell, artwork by Danielle Noel. And I'm also going to use the Flower of Life, the Wisdom of Ashtar by Denise Jarvie. So these are the two oracle decks that I'm going to use just to sort of set the tone, just to sort of set the scene for the reading itself. And then this is the tarot deck that I want to work with. So this is a fairly new tarot deck to my collection. It's been out for quite some time, but it's only just arrived in my collection the last couple of days, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. So, and I also thought, you know, it is a very inclusive, gentle, loving, kind, supportive deck, and for that reason, I thought we need to use it today. So, the tarot spread that I've chosen to do for us for this particular reading, it's called the Resurrection. So hence the Easter connection, if I can put it that way, okay? But this is not about the resurrection of another. This is about the resurrection of you. So I have got five, just getting my notes. I have got five card positions that I'm going to be working through. So we're going to take 5 cards from the tarot, besides for the 2 oracles that we're working with as well. And just the reading is just so amazing. I'm really quite excited to do them for you. So if you haven't done a pick a card with me before, basically the way that it works is you get to pick 1, 2, or 3. Each of the readings are identical. They all have the same cards, or the same decks, I should say. They also have the same spread. We're asking the same questions, but obviously based on the cards that come out of all the decks will determine the reading itself. So you've got to do whatever you need to do to choose reading 1, reading 2, or reading 3. I don't have any visualization on camera for you now to choose 1, 2, or 3. So you have to write it on a piece of paper, use a pendulum if you need to, just go within yourself, but find a way for yourself to help you choose between 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to record 3 readings. I haven't recorded them yet. When I record the intro, I do the intro first, and then I do the actual readings themselves, and pick whichever one, you know, you're drawn to. Are you always the kind of person who goes for reading 1? Are you always going for 2? Or are you always going for 3? Whatever, however, and if today you want to do things a bit differently, that's okay too. But pick yourself a reading between 1, 2, or 3, and I hope it's going to be beneficial to you, and I hope that it's going to give you whatever it is that you need to hear. Once you know which reading you're going for, once you know which one you're drawn to, you can open up the little time bar across the bottom of the screen here, and you will see that there are chapters. So just to make the navigation easier for you, so that you can jump around the video as you need to, so you can go straight to reading 1, reading 2, or reading 3. I love doing these picker cards because it helps me to be creative, and I love being creative. It helps me to just stay focused on the things that are relevant and important in life, and of course, yeah, it's fun. So I hope you enjoy them too. If you do, you know what you need to do. You need to click the thumbs up to show YouTube and to show me and to show everybody that you enjoy and value and appreciate the video. A comment from you is always appreciated. I do read them all. I don't always get a chance to reply, but I do read every single one of them, and I do value and appreciate them as well. And if you haven't already done so, do consider clicking the subscribe button, so that you get to see all my videos, because there's a pick a card reading at least once a week for you, as well as week ahead readings and a whole bunch of other stuff as I have time and energy to do. So I'm going to get straight into the reading. We're going to start with reading 1, reading 2, and reading 3, using all of these awesome decks that I have on the table here with me. I know it may be a bit difficult to see here, but the Good Karma Tarot is by Kerry Ward. Kerry Ward is the name. You can see Denise Jarvie here and Rebecca Campbell as the creator of that particular deck. So let's get into your readings. I hope you enjoy. See you there. And welcome to those of you who chose reading 1 as the reading for you today. Welcome. I have taken all the decks off the table and I'm going to start getting straight into your particular reading. I'm going to start with this deck, which is the Flower of Life Tarot, Flower of Life Oracle. And you can see that the backs of the cards have these beautiful, beautiful images of flowers, of nature, of scenery, of whatever. So shuffling can be a bit of a challenge because there's so many beautiful colors, and then on the other side is where we have the information around the message of the card. So when I'm shuffling, I try not to allow myself to be guided to the imagery or the colors too much. And the colors are, look at them, I mean, aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? So I'm going to try and shuffle in a way that I am not looking too much at the imagery. I think maybe I should turn them over. Let me try that way, because that way there's just text, but we can't read any of the text or see what it's about. So let's shuffle. And basically we're looking at the theme for our reading is resurrection. So as I'm shuffling the Flower of Life, we're asking Spirit for guidance and inspiration around what it is that you are resurrecting in your life. What needs to come back to life in your life at the moment. Any kind of inspirational message from the Flower of Life Oracle would be valued and appreciated. Right. Cards are shuffled. I'm trying not to look at the colors. Cutting it there. And we're taking this beautiful yellow card off the top. Right. So let's get these out of the way. Let's see if I can find some space. And I have no idea what this card is called. I have no idea what's written on the back, but let's turn it over and see. I do think it's quite appropriate for time of year, because we, here in the Southern Hemisphere, we are going into winter, so we are in autumn at the moment. So it seems to be appropriate from that perspective. And it is mystery. You're going, I don't know what it is. I don't know. So clearly I was connecting to Spirit. All right. So it says the mystical, the mystery, the secret is what we call something when we are yet to understand it within us. Once you feel it, you have direct experience with it. Once you understand this, a realization gently moves through you. I am love, and love is the essence of everything. I love this. A new inward journey to feel and understand the fullness of you will reveal itself. When you feel this and you talk to people who are yet to feel their own mystery, they will think that you are delusional, a little mad maybe, because they can't see it. They will do whatever they can to talk you out of it. However, as you become practiced in your new truth of being, support and understanding will move into your life through other people who have rediscovered the truth of themselves. I love that. And you know what? I think that fits in so beautifully with what we're doing here today and the reading that we are about to do. Right. So I'm going to leave it there. I know we don't get to see the text, but I think the picture and the imagery will hopefully trigger and remind us that it talks about the mystery. It talks about uncovering the mystery within yourself. And once you have that inner knowledge, once you have that inner understanding, suddenly everything is clearer. And yeah, while people are still discovering their secret, their mysteries, they may not get what you're on about or where you're going and how you're driving your life. But once they've figured it out, then they'll understand. Next deck of cards I have is the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So let's give this one a shuffle, and I'm just looking for a single card. Again, just as a theme, as a kind of general gist around what we're doing for you here today as we go through your reading of Resurrection. So let's have a look. Giving the cards just a little bit of a shuffle. Cutting the deck over there. Actually, I didn't like that. I want that one there. And taking a card off the top. Right. So let's turn it over and see what message we get from the Work Your Light Oracle. Beautiful artwork. I mean, this collage artwork is just absolutely stunning. Immediately, I'm seeing the mountain, I'm seeing the clear skies, I'm seeing the light orbs, I'm seeing a cave, and I'm seeing people standing there. The little keywords across the bottom is to break the chain. We're talking about the chain of ancestral patterns, of healing and rewriting the future. And I think that that is so important because, you know, this mountain has been there for eons. It's been there forever. It's been there for a lifetime, for 500 lifetimes. Nothing has changed. What has changed is the people, the situations, and the circumstance. And also what's changed is the way that we view the mountain. So is the mountain a challenge, an obstacle, a problem, or is the mountain a safe place, a refuge, and a home base, if I can put it that way? All right. So far, when I look at the two cards that we have drawn, the message that's coming through for all of you who have chosen reading number 1, the message that's coming through for you is, as we go through this period of resurrection, as we go through this cycle and this time frame in our life, you are going to be recreating or reestablishing yourself, learning about yourself, learning about the truth behind what actually matters for you, what really is important and significant, and what isn't. You may find yourself looking at mountains in a different way. And I use the term mountains, you know, as a symbolic reference and not as an actual physical reference. So things that you found difficult or challenging in the past, you're not going to look at them and go, hold a second, that's actually not a problem because, you know, I can use it as a safe haven, as a place, as a, you know, a place of security. We need to break the chains, though. The chains are the things that have been imposed on us or put on us that limit or restrict us and hold us back. So it's very interesting that this has come through. Okay. Look at the beautiful colors. We are so matchy. So this is the Good Karma Tarot. And as I said in the intro, I have got 5 questions that I want to talk about, that I want to take us through today. And I have no idea how I'm going to position it on the table. I never thought about that before I started recording. We'll figure it out as we go. All right, so I've got 5 questions. We're looking at, the theme here is the resurrection. So we're looking at the resurrection of you. The 5 questions that I have while I'm shuffling the cards are about trying to understand or identify what mountains or what old aspects of yourself do we need to bury? Do we need to get rid of? Do we need to put away? Okay, so we're going to look at the old ways of being that needs to be buried, that needs to be suppressed, that needs to be put away. We're then going to look at how do we do that with grace and love. How do we let go? How do we bury? How do we put things away with grace and love and not with bitterness and, you know, resentment and all of those kind of things? We're then going to look at question 3, is how to have faith and trust in this moment and just surrender to it. How do we have faith that it's all going to be okay and that this is right and that this is what we need to do and that everything will work out the way that it's supposed to? Because I think that's the hardest part, isn't it? And then our 4th card that we're going to look at is to identify something within your heart and soul, something good about you that has been forgotten. So we want to identify something positive within you. And the final card that we're going to look at is what is being resurrected in your life at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to try and lay out 5 cards. I'm going to push you out the way ever so slightly. Sorry, excuse me while I fiddle. Oh, I see glare. I hate glare. Why do we have to have glare? Right, so I'm going to move you guys over. I'm going to move you down. And then we should have no glare. Fabulous. Right, I'm putting the deck cards aside. I've turned over the first card already, but I haven't turned over the others. You can come back into picture. Thank you very much. All right, so friends, we are looking at question 1. First card that I have drawn over here is the old ways of being, your old beliefs and your old stories that need to be buried. What part of yourself is not serving you anymore? What part of yourself is not functional or, you know, helpful in your life at the moment that needs to be buried? And the card that we've drawn here is this beautiful 6 of Wands. So I say beautiful because it is so pretty. I mean, I just love this deck. It's gorgeous. So the 6 of Wands, if we have a look at it here, so we have got 3 friends. These 2 ladies in the background have come out to celebrate the friend in the center's success. So this is a card of validation. This is the card of success and victory. She's holding her trophy. We're clearly celebrating something. And these friends have come out to celebrate the success and the victory of the friend. So this brings to mind, because of the theme of what we're looking at, because of breaking chains, and because of what we had over there with the mystery, I think we need to look deeper than face value on this particular card. So the Six of Wands is the card that says to you, you have succeeded, you have achieved, you've done well, you can be proud of your accomplishments, proud of yourself, and allow other people to celebrate and be just as proud of all your accomplishments as you are. But I want to dig a little bit deeper into this, because we're talking about old ways of being, old beliefs that you hold on to that need to be buried right now. And I think it's talking about your validation, your need for validation. So are we doing things because we want to? Are we doing things because it brings us a sense of joy, a sense of happiness, or a sense of being? Or are we doing it so that other people will be happy with us, that other people will celebrate our success and victory and accomplishments? Are we doing it so that we are validated and our existence is validated? Or are we doing it because it's something that we actually want to do? So only you will know the answer to that, because that answer is specifically yours. But when we're looking at your old ways of being, our human existence has always been about accomplishments and achievements. There's been a lot of pressure on us to do good, to do well, to, come first. And if you can't come first, at least come second or third. You don't want anything lower than that. You have to drive and push yourself harder, and you have to achieve so much. So there's a lot of pressure on us to achieve. And that's an old way of being. That's an old belief system that maybe within you is one that needs to be buried. Maybe you only need to be focusing on those things that do bring you joy, those things that do give you a sense of belonging and a sense of entitlement and a sense of happiness. But don't do something if it's not something that you want for yourself. All right. Next one, card number 2. How do we let this go with grace and love? So how do we bury this part of ourselves with grace and love? And we've got the Knight of Coins. So here we have a gentleman, a gentle person, a gentle person working in the garage. You can see we've got tools all around us. He's got all his precision making tools, and he is working hard. He's sort of recognizing that, without a good solid dose of hard work, you're not going to get anywhere. If you don't put the effort in, you're not going to achieve anything. That's basically the message that he has. He recognizes that you can't sit on the couch and watch TV all day and expect miracles to happen, or to expect success to come about, or expect yourself to achieve the things that you want to. You're only going to achieve the things that you want and need to if you put the effort in. No effort, no reward. So in answer to the question of how can we let go of our need for validation, how can we let that go with love and with grace? And it's saying by just getting on and doing the things that bring you joy, by doing the things that make you happy, by doing the things that give you that whatever it is that you need, that we don't look for validation in other people. So I'm actually going to say to you here that this is about self-pride. This is about self-recognition. And the way that you get over that or bury it with grace and love is to just throw your heart and soul into the things that you want to do, the things that you need to do, and the things that bring you joy, regardless if it goes against what your friends, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, etc., what they think you should be doing. It's quite interesting. We need to release those chains, break those chains. All right. Question 3, how to have faith and trust and surrender at this time in your life while we are making the changes that we need to. So how to have faith, trust, and how to surrender into this particular situation. Here we have the beautiful Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is about recognizing that spark of divinity within you. Okay, the Ace of Wands is about recognizing that the power lies in the core of your being, in the core of your soul. And the Ace of Wands is saying that if you just have that little bit of courage to take that first step, to acknowledge that initial desire within you to make a change, if you just trust and believe in that tiny little spark, everything else will be okay. Everything else will unfold and happen in its own time, the way that it needs to, and the way that it should. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to stress about that. What you have to do, though, is just notice it. Just recognize it. And it sits like in the core of your being. Okay, you can't see my hand, but I'm pointing here to my heart space. In the core of your being is where the spark resides. So when I've spoken around these cards, was there something within you that went, oh, Yes. Was there like a little ooh moment within you? And if there was, that is what this Ace of Wands is referencing. So how do you have faith, and how do you trust, and how do you surrender to the situation that you need to let go of the validation and do things for yourself, by yourself, because it brings you joy? By recognizing that tiny little feeling inside of your soul that says, yes, this is what we want, this is what makes me happy, and trusting that, believing in that, and just accepting that tiny little spark and just making that first step. And if you can take that first step, the rest will just flow. The hardest step is always the first step. And if you can just recognize that within you, the rest of it's going to be quite easy. Okay. Question 4. So question 4 is all good things within you that have been forgotten. So what good aspects of yourself, what wonderful parts of yourself have you forgotten because you've been so focused on other people's validation and approval and acknowledgement for your efforts? So what have you forgotten about yourself? I love this card. You know, bless her soul, 10 of Wands. Okay, she is carrying 10 sticks. It's not easy. I mean, you can see the struggle. It's clearly evident on her face, the struggle that she's going through. But you know what? She's persevering. She's not giving up. And this is something within you that you have buried, that you have forgotten, that needs to come out again. So what within you that has been forgotten, and it's your I want to say your element of perseverance, but that's so not the right English. Let's just say your perseverance, the fact that you don't give up easily, the fact that you have got determination and focused and tenacity and all of those kind of good words. You don't give up easily. And this is something that you need to focus on. So when you're facing a challenge, when you're facing a difficulty, when you are breaking the chains and uncovering your own personal mystery, when you're doing all of that, recognize that you don't give up easily. This is the card that says you're giving up too easily because you're doing what other people want of you. You're doing what other people expect. You're making other people happy and not making yourself happy. It's time to start saying, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and everybody else must fall in line. Everybody else, when they see how successful and happy you are, they will obviously at that point celebrate with you. But at this stage, you're not doing things for the right reasons. You're doing things for all the wrong reasons. And you've got to follow that little spark, that little spark of creativity that you have within your soul space, and let that be your driving force, and realize that when the going gets tough, you don't give in. You don't give up. You keep going, because that is who you are. You don't give up until you succeed. You don't give up until you've accomplished everything that you need to. And when the going gets tough, the tough get moving forward. And that's you. That is you. All right. And our final card is what is being resurrected within you right now. So if you're able to take this advice and guidance, if you're able to implement this within your life at the moment, what is being resurrected in your life right here and right now? And the card that we have, oh, I love this. Like, oh my gosh, I almost get goosebumps. This is just so phenomenal. This is the Star card, as you can clearly see. And the Star card is the card of renewal. It's the card of hope. It's the card of re-establishing yourself. It's the card of reimagining yourself. So what is being resurrected in you at the moment? Life, love, happiness, and success. That is what's being renewed within you at the moment. But only if you're able to let go of other people's needs, wants, and desires. Let go of people pleasing. Let go of measuring your success, your happiness, your worth by what other people say about you. We need to let go of that. I want to just bring this one back into it and just remind you, break the chain. We're talking about ancestral patterns. We're talking about healing, and we're talking about rewriting the future. And when we talk about ancestral patterns, this is something that if you look at your parents and you look at their parents and you look at, if you go all the way back, everybody in your line, in your lineage has had the same problem of not putting yourself first, themselves first, of saying, I am only happy, successful, and good when I do what is expected of me, when I do what makes other people happy, when I do. So if for example, if growing up, if you wanted to be a an oil painting artist, and your parents said, no, 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 you must become a doctor. And I'm just using random examples. Did you give up your dream of being an artist to pursue being a doctor because it made other people happy? Or did you find a way of saying, I will be the doctor, I will do the healing, I will do the work, but I'm still going to paint, I'm still going to do that? Or where are you? This is what's important here. And this is what this time period in your life is all about. So as we go through this period of resurrection, just focus on you. Focus on what needs to be resurrected within you. What is your driving passion? What is your mystery that you have forgotten, that you have neglected, that needs to be resurrected right now? I do want to just very quickly remind you of the mystery card. You can pause the screen and you can read this over and over. You can screenshot it. You can do whatever you need to. But you need to uncover your mystery. You need to uncover your secret. You need to uncover you. So friends, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this has given you the nudge that you need in the right directions to find your true happiness, to find your true success, and to find your true worth. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Welcome to those of you who have chosen reading 2 as the reading that has the inspiration, the guidance that you need right now to help you resurrect your own self in your own life. All right. I have cleared the table. I have packed away all the cards that we're working with, and we're going to start off working with the Flower of Life Oracle. So the Flower of Life Oracle, every single card has a different image, a different picture. It's all about flowers. It's all about nature. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sceneries that we have on the cards here. Sunflowers, my favorite. So shuffling is quite a challenge with this particular deck, because I always want to make sure that I'm not allowing myself to be influenced by the colors and the images. So on the back of the cards, it has text for each of the pictures and each of the images. So the way that I shuffle it is upside down. I know we shouldn't, but I'm going to shuffle it upside down because the text is all very much the same and I can't read any of it to start off with. So I shuffle upside down just so that I'm not influenced by any of the artwork or colors of the deck. So we're looking at resurrection, we're looking at the resurrection, and we're looking at the resurrection within your life. So what is something in your life that needs to be put away, that needs to be buried? What is something in your life that needs to be healed? And what is something in your life that needs to be brought back to life, that needs to be resurrected? So from the Flower of Life Tarot, Flower of Life Oracle, I am just looking for a single card just to set the scene, just to set the groundwork, just to set the foundation of what needs resurrecting in your life. Okay, so the cards have had a bit of a shuffle. Trying not to look at the images there. I'm going to cut the deck over there and we're going to take that card, and that's so interesting. That card has been looking at me the whole day. When I took the deck out of the box, this was the card on top. So yeah, this particular image has been looking at me the whole day today. So I can't wait to see what message it has on the other side. I don't know anything about plants except that they're pretty, flowers except that they're pretty. So I cannot off the top of my head tell you what this one is. But let's turn it over and see what message it has for us. So it is the message of balance, of course, yes. Makes sense to me. Right, so it says, for you to fulfill your potential, to become all that you can be in every moment, you must be in balance. Otherwise, you are resisting life and creating tension. This resistance and tension are needed to a certain extent for anything to expand or to grow or to become more. Learn to recognize the resistance rather than let it run you. Anything that you don't like, sense it, feel into it, and the next logical action step will present itself. This step will move you in the direction of your potential, your dreams, and your desires. So take a deep, gentle breath and thank whatever has moved you out of balance. Say to yourself, thank you. Thank you for showing me what I really don't want and reminding me to come back to my balanced place where I will be inspired to create what I do want. I am willing to experience all things, for in doing so, I become clearer with my insight-loving path. Namaste. Namaste. My soul honors your soul. My soul honors and respects your soul. I love that. I love that. And you know what? I don't know about any of you, but that certainly makes sense to me in my life. And now I understand why this particular image was just sort of calling me the whole time. And one of the reasons why it was calling me is that when I first started recording, I had all the decks laid out. And as I said, this was on top. And I looked and I saw, oh, look, it's both pinky, you know, same kind of coloring coming through. And that's when I started noticing this particular card. All right. So this is the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So let's see what message it wants to offer us before we get into the detailed reading. So I love the message of balance, and you know, I do in all my social media posts and in all the work that I do. Balance is something that I am pushing with everybody all the time, because I do understand the importance and significance of balance in our lives. So let's see, Work Your Light Oracle, what message do you have for us today as we are going through our resurrection? And so I'm taking that card over there, and let's turn it over and see what we have. Oh, I love the artwork. So even before I read the keywords across the bottom, I am seeing duality. I am seeing balance. If you imagine a line down the center, it's like we've got, you know, two halves of a whole. I know that these two ladies are not the same, okay? And just as those two whales and dolphins and etc. are not the same, but there's certainly this element of balance. So let's have a look. Soul family, okay. It says, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. I love it. I love it. I love it. So like I said to you, immediately I saw this balance here. I also see pink, blue, pink. So the fact that we've got the pink on either side of the blue is also bringing about a balance. We've got these two ladies who are connecting third eyes, who are connecting hands, who are connecting hearts, who are connecting everything, as are the animals, okay? And it is about soul family and about calling in your tribe, recognizing that you do not have to do it alone. And you know what? So today's reading, and I'm going to shuffle the cards while I'm talking to you, if I can pick them up. So this is the Good Karma Tarot. So today's reading it has the potential to be quite a difficult one, because we're talking about resurrection. We're talking about something within you that needs to be buried, something within you that needs to be put away because it's not serving a purpose in your life anymore. We're looking at you know, what then does need to be resurrected, what has been buried previously, that needs to come up, that needs to be brought back to life, that you need to honor, respect, and so forth. So it can be quite difficult. The fact that our first oracle card was about balance and about understanding the yin and the yang and understanding the balance within you, that we need to do things that bring us balance and not things that take us out of balance. But, and I'm still talking about what this card was saying, something that brings you out of balance, something that unbalances you, actually is doing you a favor, because it's forcing you to ask questions. It's forcing you to look at what's going on in life, and it's forcing you to identify what aspects of yourself need to be balanced, okay? Then we've got the oracle card over here, which is talking about soul family. Now, soul family is a concept, maybe a bit of a strange concept even, okay? Because soul family is talking about people who you vibe with, people who understand you without you having to explain yourself. Soul family are people who just get you at the core of your being. It's not necessarily your blood relatives, okay? They're not necessarily your soul family. Your soul family, or sorry, your blood relatives, the family that raised you, the family that you know, you grew up with, they might not necessarily be your soul family. There may not be any DNA between you and your soul family. Your soul family are people who think the way that you do, who emote the way that you do, who feel the way that you do, people with the same values, the same belief systems, the same understandings, the same almost outlook on life, okay? And what this message is saying to you here with this particular card is, you know, call in your tribe, call in your soul family, because you don't have to do this alone. Whatever you're going through at the moment, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're pondering and working through at the moment, you don't have to do it on your own, but you have an imbalance that needs fixing. All right, I'm going to lay out, because I think these cards are quite well shuffled, up the deck over there, and I'm going to lay out 5 cards, trying to avoid glare, because these are glossy cards. I love the bright yellow. It looks so good on camera. Right, I have got 5 cards laid out because we have 5 questions that we are going to be working through. And the 5 questions are quite simple, but yet they can be quite profound. The first question that we have is your old ways of being, your old belief systems, and old stories that define you, that need to be buried. So we're looking at what parts of yourself are no longer relevant, are no longer appropriate, and need to be buried, whether it's a belief system, whether it's an old part of you of who you used to be, or how you used to be, or that type of thing, or just even an old belief system. So what aspect or what part of you needs to be buried right now? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is actually quite interesting. I want you to note with this Wheel of Fortune, so yes, we have this lady, and she has sort of positioned herself inside of this wheel. And she's holding on with one hand. Her other hand is sort of on her solar plexus. But what she's doing is she's just going with the flow. Okay, so she's connected to this wheel. And as this wheel just turns and turns and turns, so she's turning with the wheel. On each corner of the card, we have the 4 seasons. We have 4 elements. Let me use that word rather, 4 elements. We have got water, we have got fire, we have got earth, and we have got wind. We've got 4 elements around this particular card. The Wheel of Fortune is the card of as the wheel turns, so things happen. It's the card that says you're not really in control, that you leave everything up to fate. You leave everything up to karma. You leave everything up to what will be, instead of actually driving situation, circumstances. So the question, what old beliefs, what old ways of being, and what old stories of who you are or who you were need to be buried right now? And it's this whole thing of not being in control, of not being the driving force of your life. So previously, you've just, again, as I said, you've allowed it to unfold on its own. You've allowed fate to take its course. You've allowed things to happen without actually ever making decisions or actions towards what you want or what you need. So this needs to be buried. We need to stop that. We need to stop waiting for opportunity to present itself. We need to stop hoping that opportunity will present itself. We need to make opportunity present itself. So that part of you where you just went with the flow, that you were just so, and this could be in social, this could be in relationships, this could be finances, it could be work, it could be everything. Actually, it probably is everything. You've always been the kind of person who didn't like to cause trouble, who didn't like to go against the grain, who didn't like to make people look at you in a strange way. You've always been the person who's just sort of gone with the flow. And this needs to stop. You need to learn to find your voice, to find your courage, to find that part of yourself. Because remember, you don't have to do this on your own. Remember, we need to find balance. When you are just going with the flow the whole time, when you're just trusting that situations will be the way that they will be, you're not in control. And therefore, you're never getting what you deserve. You're never getting what you need, what you want, and as I said, what you deserve. So that needs to be buried. We need to put that away and let it stay away. Let's not call it up. Let's not bring it on. Let's leave that part of ourselves. Let's pack it away. Now, I know, easier said than done, right? Absolutely. So question 2 is, how do we do this with grace and with love? Like, how do we actually stop? Because that's a huge part of who you are. Huge part of who you are. So, we can't just click our fingers and boom, it's done. So how do we do that? How do we take such a huge part of who we are, of our identity, and put it away and leave it there? So let's have a look. So how do we let go with grace and love? Tarot has a sense of humor. Spirit have a sense of humor. And the sense of humor for you right here is grace and love? Nah. The Tower card is Spirit saying to you, now, suddenly, rip it out, pull it out immediately, okay? No thinking about it, no waiting for opportunity. And you know what? That makes so much sense to me, because as I said that, as I listened to what Spirit is saying, who have you been? Okay, what part of yourself do we need to let go of? This part of you that says, no, it'll be fine, I'll wait my turn, don't worry about me, it'll be okay, I'm fine. You understand? That's the part of you that needs to go. When we say, how do we let go of it? With love and grace. Love and grace is how you've been. Love and grace is the way that you've lived your life all along. Love and grace is what got you into this position of not having balance and not being connected with your soul family. So how do we let go? How do we change? The Tower card is saying immediately, suddenly, savagely. Okay, I say savagely. Savage is probably a bit of a harsh word to use, but without thinking about the consequences, without thinking about how it's going to affect anybody else or who's going to be disappointed. Don't think about that. Just do it. Okay, because that's the Tower's message here, is how do we let go of being this person by just ripping that band-aid off and being that person. Stop thinking about other people. Stop saying, no, it's fine, I'll wait, it'll be okay, it'll happen when it's meant to happen. I call bullshit on that. Absolutely. And that's what the Tower card is saying. Stop being so kind, stop being so nice, stop being so gentle. Just stand up for yourself and say, no more. The buck stops here. All right, this is very, very interesting. Okay, card 3. And card 3's question is how to have more faith, trust, and how to surrender to this whole process. So how do we know that it's going to be okay? How do we know that this is actually what we're meant to do? How do we know that it's going to work out? I mean, look at her. I love it. Hand on the hip, sword in the hand, and she is like, I take no nonsense. Like, she's telling you, just believe it. Just know it. Just trust it. Don't question everything. Don't always think that you have to question everything that's going on around you, because you absolutely don't. So she is taking no prisoners. She is taking no nonsense, and she is very confident. I love how her sword here has got the eye there. So it's like, I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Isn't she fabulous? Like, honestly, I just think she's fabulous. That she's got that kind of look on her eyes, like, I'm going to tell you what's what. So the question here is how to have faith, how to trust, and how to surrender to this process of taking your power back, of finding your balance, and of about finding your soul family and calling in your tribe. She's like, say, you just do it and it's going to be okay. And actually, you know what? I almost feel like she's going to wave a finger at us, and I almost feel like she's going to say to you, you don't actually have a choice here. You've got to do this. You absolutely have to. And if you don't do it, I'm going to make it happen for you. So, yeah, I really do feel like she's very stern. I do feel like that's the message that's coming through from her, is very, very stern. And I think that's fabulous. Fabulous. All right. Card 4. So we've identified a good quality, because you know what? This person that you used to be, I mean, you're not a terrible person. You're lovely. You're amazing. But what other aspects of yourself, what other good qualities of yourself has now been buried in the past that needs to come back up? So what positive aspects of yourself have been forgotten, neglected, and forgotten? So let's have a look. Something positive that's been neglected and forgotten, and we have got the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups is not always a fabulous card, okay? It's not a card that we're like, yay, 5 of Cups, yay, bring it on. It's actually a little bit like, I mean, look at her. You can see that she's not happy. You can see that she's not feeling over enthusiastic about life. If anything, she's actually feeling quite despondent. She's actually feeling quite like, oh my gosh, can everything just go wrong now? And everything's going wrong now. So 5 of Cups is the card of disappointment. It's the card of things not always working out as they seem. But, with a capital B, but. The 5 of Cups reminds us that when things go wrong, because it's life, things go wrong, okay? When things go wrong, when things don't quite work out the way that you wanted or the way that you expected, you have a choice. In life, there's always choice. The choice for you here is, are you going to feel sorry and sad and disappointed and angry and all of those kind of negative emotions around the things that went wrong? Or are you going to go, okay, so that didn't work. Hold a second, look behind me. There's some more. I can carry on. This isn't the end. This isn't me done and dusted. This isn't the end of me, actually. But it's the way that you choose to respond that matters. Now, and this is the important thing. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's what she's saying. I'm talking like her now. Pay attention. Okay. So the message that's coming through here, right? I said all good things within you, they have been forgotten. So what positive aspects of yourself has been forgotten that you need to be reminded of. And it's the fact that you tend to get sucked into the drama of when one thing goes wrong, but actually you do have this potential, because this is what you're doing now, but you do have this potential to always find a positive, to always find plan B, to always find another way of overcoming, changing, or carrying on or moving forward. So the positive aspect within you that has been forgotten is your ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And because you've always just gone with the flow, when things have gone wrong, you've gone like, okay, well, that wasn't meant to be, so therefore give it up and move on to the next thing. And this is Spirit saying, when it doesn't work out the first time, the second time, or the third time, you have this ability to dig deep and to find alternate things, ways, means. Don't give up. Tenacity is a word I'm hearing. Perseverance is a word I'm hearing. Disappointment, giving up, and feeling sad is not what I'm hearing. Okay, so an aspect of you that has been forgotten is your ability to find other ways of doing things simpler, better, and again, and over, and more, etc. All right, you got it. You got it. What does our Queen of Swords say? You know what you need to do. And friends, our final card, card number 5, is what is being resurrected within you right now. Why is all of this necessary? Why is all of this relevant? Why do we need to do all of this? Because this is being resurrected within you at the moment. And look at that. Like, you know what? I don't think I need to say anything. I think I'm just going to let you look at the pretty picture, because that pretty picture speaks 1,000 words. That pretty picture, I mean, first of all, it's all these huge, big, massive flowers. She has an abundance of them. She has excess of them. She's got her perfect home. It's the perfect day. It's the perfect weather. Everything is fabulous. Everything is amazing. Everything is wonderful. And she is taking the time to enjoy everything that she has. And that's exactly the message of the 9 of Coins. The 9 of Coins is saying to you about abundance, about opulence, about having everything your heart desires and then more. So this is what's available to you. This is what needs to be resurrected, is being resurrected within you. But we can't do this. We can't have this. We can't achieve this if we don't have balance, if you don't recognize your soul tribe and call them in to let them help you. And if you don't stop trusting and believing that everything's going to work out, you've got to stand up for yourself, and you've got to say, actually, no, that's not okay. Actually, I want that last whatever it is. I want what I want, and I am not going to stop until I have it. You need to, card number 3, you need to stand up. You need to be more assertive. You need to be more assertive. You need to be more Queen of Swords-ish. And you need to recognize that even when things go wrong, there is always more available to you, always more available to you. And if you focus on that, that is how you are going to find yourself. And that is how you're going to live the life that you deserve, the life that you want, and the life of happiness and joy. So I think that's fabulous. I think that's absolutely fabulous. I think you know what you need to do. What I am going to do for you, just put this on camera again in case you want a screenshot. If you want to write it down, pause it now, do whatever you need to do, but I think you need to focus on this. I think this is the key message for each one of you. All right, you got it. Good. So friends, I don't know which way to put it that way. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this has given you the Queen of Swords shove and push that you needed to resurrect this life that you deserve. Not this life that you deserve. All right. So lots of love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Welcome to those of you who chose reading 3 as the reading for you today. Welcome. I do hope that you're going to enjoy. I have cleared all the cards that I had on the table, all the decks that I had on the table, ready to start with your reading. And we're going to start with the oracles. And the first oracle that I'm going to work with is the Flower of Life oracle. So the Flower of Life oracle is a beautiful deck that has these gorgeous images on the one side. So, and on the other side, I mean, these images are just beautiful. I just absolutely love them. And on the other side of the deck, it's got the writing or the text or the message of the card. So being the Flower of Life, the images are obviously all very nature-based. and all very flower based and things like that. So I am shuffling the deck upside down, just so that I don't allow myself to be influenced by the colors, because yeah, these colors are just gorgeous. And subconsciously we may go, oh, I like my purple, because you all know I like purple, and I may then subconsciously draw the purple card. So this way I can see the text, but I can't read the text, and then therefore I'm not influenced by the text. So we're looking at what needs resurrection in your life, what needs to be buried, and what needs to be resurrected in your life. So we're asking Flower of Life to give us a kind of, just to start the reading off, and to give us a kind of theme, a kind of, bit of inspiration around all of that. I don't know what I'm doing here, turning the cards like that, but anyway, I don't understand what I do. Let's draw a single card. So I'm cutting the deck here, not allowing myself to be influenced by the colors, and we have a beautiful blue color. So I don't know anything about plants and flowers except that they're pretty. So I cannot tell you what this one is, but let's turn it over and see the message that comes through. Love and fear. So it says, love and fear cannot exist in the same space or at the same time, as they are very different vibrations. If you are feeling fear, imagine you breathe in sorry, I can't even read. Imagine you breathe in green or pink light and feel any fear or lower energies transforming into love. Now you are fully present and in a vibration of love. You feel safe, knowing exactly what to do in any circumstance or situation. This is now your reality. So say to yourself, I trust that I am a channel of love and wisdom. My higher self will guide me at all times and in all situations. Now I know this, I can relax, have fun, and live my life present in each moment. I love that message. And you know what that message to me is saying more than anything? It's saying that we need to recognize love in ourselves when we're feeling love, and we need to recognize fear as well. And we must never succumb to the fear. We must never allow the fear to guide us, drive us, and to rule us. When we acknowledge that we're in that space of fear, we need to repeat that phrase to ourselves. We need to say to ourselves, I am love, I am love. And when you do that, suddenly you will overcome the fear and you will know how to respond and how to react. So that, as you can see, I'm already shuffling the next deck. This is the Work Your Light Oracle. All right, I forgot one for a second there. And we're going to see what message it wants to add to this whole thing of love and fear. Recognizing, transmuting, and changing the one into the other. And always fear into love, not love into fear. Okay, let's have a look and see what card comes through for us here. Beautiful pink and blue colors. And it is the card of Pillar of Light, and it says your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. I love that. So look, there you stand. Okay, there's the vibrations coming up. There's the pillar of light, that pillar of light that connects you to above and to below. You are the center medium. You are the one in the middle. You are the one in control. You are the oracle. You are the pillar of light, and your vibration is rising. Now, what I love about that particular message, especially connected to this one of love and fear, is saying to you that love is the vibration. Okay, fear is a vibration, but it's not one we want, and we can turn that dial and adjust the fear vibration into a love vibration. Especially all of you who chose reading 3, you are obviously light workers. You are obviously very sensitive to energy, very sensitive to vibrations, and very sensitive to fear. Okay, so this message that's coming through for you, and when we see the tarot and the message that comes through from the tarot, I think it'll make a lot more sense. So here is my tarot. It is the Good Karma Tarot. So I'm going to shuffle the Good Karma Tarot, and I'm going to lay out 5 cards for us. And the 5 cards are going to help us to understand what aspects of ourselves need to be buried, what aspects of ourselves need to be resurrected, and why. I love that. Okay, so the pillars of light, your vibration is rising. When our vibration rises, I'll get the right words, when our vibration rises, basically what it means is things that were relevant and appropriate to us in the past may not be relevant and appropriate anymore. And we need to be aware of that. We need to recognize that, previously I enjoyed a certain activity, I don't anymore. Previously I enjoyed certain food, and I don't anymore. Previously, I enjoyed a certain kind of person, and I don't anymore. Recognizing that you are shifting, that you are evolving, that you are changing because your vibration is rising. And when we do that, suddenly our focus shifts from fear to love. Okay, so cards I think are shuffled. Shuffled. Right, I'm going to cut the deck over there, and I'm going to lay out 5 cards. And then I will turn them over as we go through them. I'm just laying them in a way that hopefully I avoid glare, because these are very glossy cards. There we go. Okay, so tarot cards aside, let's have a look. All right, so as I have said to you, the particular theme of this reading is what needs resurrection within you. The resurrection, not of something else, but the resurrection of you. Okay, so our first question, or our first card, is your old ways of being, your old beliefs, and your old stories. What of you, what part of you needs to be buried right now? And the card that we have here is the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands, here we have this beautiful lady. I mean, she looks so ecstatic. She looks so happy. She's like smiling and waving, and, you know, she's really in her happy place. We have got these stars, and we've also got these 8 rods flying through the sky. And it's almost like she's waving at them. The 8 of Wands is the card of movement and change, but the 8 of Wands is also the card that says to you, movement and change is happening, and you can't change it. You know, once something is set in motion, it's just going to go. It's just going to happen. She is waiting for things to unfold in the way that they need to. 8 of Wands is saying that everything is already started, everything's already gone, everything's already initiated, and you're just waiting to see how it plays out. And this is something that needs to be buried within you. This is a belief system within you that no longer serves you, that no longer fits into your love and into your pillar of light, high vibration. So it's because this is all about the physical, tangible, practical aspects of life. Things that we do tangibly, that once we've done it, we then just have to wait and see how it comes out. And it's about recognizing how little control you have. That once you've started something, once you've initiated something, it's like, okay, just let nature take its course, or just let things unfold in their own way. And the 8 of Wands is basically saying that that aspect of you is no longer relevant, no longer appropriate, and maybe is something that needs to be buried. It's also about waiting. It's about patience. It's about, you know, just that whole thing of, I am not in control. Once I've done my part, I need to step back and put my hands up and just wait to see how it happens. No, absolutely not. Maybe if it's something that if you're passionate about, if it's something that means something to you, if it's something that's important and significant to you, I think this is saying that you must not just, okay, I've done my part, I hope and pray it works, and I hope it works out okay. No, you need to actually stay involved throughout the whole process. You need to guide it. You need to be more proactive, because that old way of being no longer serves you anymore. All right. Second card, how to let go of this, how to not be that person anymore, how to be that person who's a little bit more on top of things, a little bit more proactive, a little bit more assertive. And the card we have here is our Knight of Cups. So I have to note that she was full of tattoos and flower tattoos. Actually, are they the same? Let's just actually have a look at this. No, they're not the same. They're very similar. Very similar. Maybe they are. I don't know. I'm questioning. So, Knight of Cups, you can see there's the ocean. He's clearly on a boat of some kind. We've got ropes and things like that. And he's almost saluting. He has got something fabulous that he's drinking, but he's looking amazing. He's looking super comfortable. He's looking super in control, and he's looking super whatever. And I think actually when I look at these two, there are similarities between them. First of all, they're almost a mirror image of each other, okay? Yin and yang mirror image. We've got feminine, we've got masculine. We've got this arm up, this arm up. So we've got the yin and the yang energies, which is bringing, you know, the balance. It's bringing the duality. It's bringing the love and the fear. She has fear that this isn't going to work out. He doesn't. He has complete trust that everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fabulous. So this is what aspect of you that needs to be let go, buried. And this is how to do it, by just believing in yourself. Believing in yourself, believing in your abilities to deal with things as they come up, to deal with things as they unfold, to deal with things as they reveal themselves. Okay, that is how you do it. Card number 3, how to have faith, trust, and how to surrender to the situation that's right in front of you. So how do you have more faith? How do you trust yourself? I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about you. How do you trust and believe in yourself more? How do you have more faith in you? And how do you surrender to your own talents, skills, and abilities? Oh my gosh, this is so funny. She, and I call her she because, oh my gosh, she is a she. She came up in this exact position in the previous reading. And you know what? She's got a voice. Let me tell you now, our Queen of Swords, I mean, just look at her face. She is going to tell you off, and she doesn't care if you get upset. She's like going to point her finger at you. She's going to wave her finger at you, and she don't care. She's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous. I love the hand on the hip. You know, she's like assertive. She's confident. She's all of those kind of things. So how do you have more faith, trust, and surrender in yourself, your skills, and your abilities? She's telling you, just do it. Okay? Stop questioning. Remember what this card was saying about the vibration of love and fear. She's telling you that you've been succumbing to fear too often, that you've allowed your fear and your insecurities and your doubts to overwhelm you and to drive you, when actually that's what we need to bury. That's what we need to let go of. We need to become more active. We need to become more involved. We need to become more hands-on, if I can put it that way. And she's telling you that you just have to do this. It's not a question. It's not up for discussion. It's almost like she really points a finger at you. She's like, just do it. Just do what you have to do. Stop questioning. Stop doing all of those things. Stop trying to even understand it. Just do what I tell you. That's her message. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. So when we take something, like when we talk about energy, we talk about spirit. If we remove something negative, it's always good practice to put something positive back. So just like this card was talking about love and fear, and it was telling you, recognize fear, acknowledge fear, and then change it, replace it, imbue it with love, okay? Because you are the pillar of light. You are connected to source above and to source below. So you've got that pillar of light that you can access, that you can draw on to replace. So this card is going to help us to identify the good aspects of yourself that have long since been forgotten, that you need to recognize, okay? So a good thing within you that has been forgotten, and we have the Ace of Wands. Again, it's also made a second appearance in this resurrection readings. So the Ace of Wands is about the spark of interest, the spark of excitement, the spark of love, the spark of creativity. It's about that divine spark within you that just triggers excitement and triggers, you know, that idea that you have, that like light bulb moment. This is it, okay? But it doesn't happen here, light bulb. It happens in your heart space, okay? So the Ace of Wands is the card of inspiration. It's the card of excitement. It's the card of passion. It's the card of enthusiasm. And you've lost all of that because you've just been like, no, it'll be fine. It'll happen. Everything will work out the way it needs to. I've done my part. Now I leave it up to the universe. And this is the universe saying, no, 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 you need to still be the driving force. You need to be the one doing the work. You need to be doing everything that you can. Because every time there's a problem or a challenge or a hiccup in the road, you need to be able to turn it around from fear into love. Okay. And finally, friends, and finally, card number 5. And card number 5 is, through all of this, like what is the point behind all of this? What is being resurrected within you right here and right now? What aspect of yourself is being resurrected, and the reason why you have to change yourself in the way that you do? And the card that we have there is the card of judgment. So here she's sitting in the garden. She's sitting on a little mat. She's quite comfy. And she's enjoying the sun's rays on her skin. She's looking up at the heavens, and she's just saying, you know what? I'm actually a good person. I'm actually somebody who's actually quite fabulous. I have a good heart. I have a good soul. I do good for other people. I care. I'm kind. I'm compassionate. She recognizes all those good aspects of herself. So again, when I look at all of this in its entirety, judgment card over here, as in what is being resurrected in your life, Is Spirit saying to you, yes, you know that you do good, but you always do good for other people's benefit. You always do good because it's good for other people. So the work that you're doing, it's not for yourself, it's for somebody else, because you do it and then you hand it over and then you step away and you end up with nothing and everybody else has it. You need to start taking more control. You need to start taking more liberties, and you need to start saying, actually, you know what? I'm doing things for me now. I have the ability, I have the power, I have the authority. I can do it for me because she says so. I love this card. Honestly, it's like my favorite. She is just like so amazing. Okay. So the Judgment card, as in what is being resurrected in your life, is love, truth, integrity, most importantly, happiness. And you've got nothing to hide. You've got absolutely nothing to hide. There's not a single part of you that is like, oh, that's a little bit, could be better. There is nothing. You are, for want of a better phrase, perfect. You are amazing. You are fabulous. You are all of those things. And you need to recognize that because of that, you deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve all of those good things. And the Judgment card is saying that you need to start letting go of the fear that you carry around who you are and whether you're good enough, because you absolutely are. You need to stop doing for other people. You need to stop making everybody else happy. You need to stop making everybody else feel confident and super enthusiastic and motivated. And you need to start focusing on you. Okay, you got it. All right. So let's go back to this card, because this card to me is just so important. I'm going to encourage you to pause the screen and to read this, write it down, screenshot it, print it out, do whatever you need to do, because this is your message. Love and fear cannot exist in the same space or at the same time, as they are very different vibrations. You need to focus on that, and you need to learn how to shift from fear into love. So friends, I hope you got all of that. I hope it makes sense to you. I hope it gives you whatever it is you need in life right now. And as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.